Please welcome Zeena Zakharia, Associate Professor of International Education Policy.
The Somali-British poet Warsan Shire once wrote, "No one leaves home unless home is the mouth of a shark. You only run for the border when you see the whole city running as well." These words capture what it means to be forced from one's home, to embark on a journey filled with uncertainty and often unimaginable hardship. In 2024, there were over 122 million forcibly displaced people worldwide, more than double what it was just 10 years ago. That's 1 in 67 people, with children making up 40% of this population. 49 million children forced across not only physical borders, but also emotional geographies, moving through fear, loss, and hope. But the journey of refugees doesn't end at the border. It often leads to new challenges and barriers, including in schools, where children encounter both welcome and exclusion. My research in contexts of conflict over the last 2 decades has witnessed extraordinary violence, but also what I call ordinary solidarities, moments of compassion and connection forged in the midst of struggle. These ordinary solidarities arise in communities that choose to stand alongside others, to refuse injustice, and see humanity before nationality or citizenship. Around the world, in low and middle-income countries, where 3/4 of the world's displaced live in temporary status, people show up for children. While global policy bodies and scholars often focus on what they view as scarcity in these contexts, where children will spend, on average, 10 to 20 years or their entire schooling in displacement, my research has sought to understand how communities and schools sustain education in the midst of so much upheaval. Let me give you an example of one such school from my collaborative research on the global educational response to the Syria refugee crisis. In 2011, as the Syria conflict escalated, families began to flee to neighboring countries. Lebanon, a country already struggling with economic and political crises, received an estimated 1.5 million Syrian refugees. Imagine it, a lower income country hosting the largest per capita refugee population in the world, equal to 1/4 of its population. In this context, a school that I'll call our Hope School began accepting Syrian refugees. But here's the remarkable thing. This integration wasn't part of any grand strategy. It just happened. The community needed a place for the children, and the school said, yes, we'll make room. A small step maybe, but one that speaks volumes about their commitment to the right to education, the right to human dignity. In the classrooms and hallways of our Hope School, refugee children learn side by side with other students. They play together and form friendships, and the school treats each child equally, making sure that no one stands alone in the playground and no one feels like they don't belong. This approach, this ordinary solidarity, deserves our collective and scholarly attention. Critics of international aid argue that educational programs are often created by people far removed from the places that they're trying to help. Decisions about curriculum, funding, and resources are often made by people at far distances, resulting in poor outcomes. But at our Hope School, supporting refugees wasn't about grand gestures or complex aid strategies. It was about ordinary people working together to counter the violence of dispossession, to share space, to share resources. The result, well, refugee children and their families felt welcome and valued with measurable outcomes in learning. Now, I should note that none of this happened without challenges. Integrating refugees was not popular. It was messy and difficult. Many families removed their children from the school because they didn't want them to share classrooms with refugees. Still, the school remained steadfast. It didn't turn away a single child. When Lebanon's economic crisis hit, the school faced severe financial strain. Many families could no longer pay tuition, but it kept its doors open, with teachers taking pay cuts. After the Beirut port explosion, I'm remembering the Beirut port explosion. After the Beirut port explosion, they set up mobile clinics and organized support teams to help people repair their homes. They did this because, as the school leader put it, we just try to get people to accept each other. No grand strategy, just a commitment to being there, just what you do. What if we could harness this spirit of ordinary solidarity on a larger scale to make sure that no one is subjected to discrimination, exploitation, or have their well-being sacrificed for the benefit of others? Our Hope School embodied these principles through its daily practices of inclusion, respect, and kindness. It worked to restore humanity. And this is a restoration that goes beyond refugees, and working side by side and seeing each other's struggles and needs, both Lebanese and Syrian families found ways to bridge their differences. And here's the part that I find most powerful. This kind of solidarity doesn't require us to have all the answers. It doesn't require us to know what to do. It requires us to care, to be vulnerable, and to recognize ourselves in each other. It requires us to let go of any notion of superiority or saviorism, and to truly listen to those who share our humanity. Ordinary solidarity isn't about saving refugees or offering handouts. It's about creating genuine relationships, partnerships based on mutual respect and care. And this work can be a journey of inner transformation. The world we want to create, a world of compassion and understanding, begins with us. Our Hope School and schools like it around the world remind us of what's possible when we operate from a place of love, respect, and humility. It teaches us that the global refugee crisis isn't just for governments or international organizations to solve. It's a call to each of us, to reevaluate our own lives and our own communities and to ask, how can we practice ordinary solidarity in our lives? How can we be allies to those who are suffering, even when it's inconvenient and uncomfortable? As we move forward, let's remember that change doesn't always come from sweeping reforms or grand policies. Sometimes it starts with just one school saying, yes, we'll make room, and that single, ordinary act of solidarity transforms lives, communities, and ultimately ourselves. Thank you.